Hello, everybody, and welcome to our little new project, which is, I guess, a hangout, a podcast, maybe? Question mark. Something for you
Yes.
to listen to while you're doing other stuff, and it's, as the title says, it's literally the dumb duo discuss, because we are dumb, we're a duo, and we like to talk about things. So we thought, why not talk about things on camera for someone else to listen to and hopefully maybe enjoy.
We not only like to talk about things, we're very good at talking about
Yes.
things.
If there's one
For a very
thing,
long time.
if there's one thing we're professionals at, I would say it's talking. Because
Yes.
my God, can we talk?
Yep. So we thought we would put it to good use.
Yeah.
And share it with everyone.
It's like that meme. It's like, oh, if you're good at something, make sure you get paid. And then it's like, how do I get paid for having anxiety? How do we get paid for talking?
Yep.
And we're not getting paid for this, but I wish we were. Somebody sponsor us, please.
Yeah.
Anyways,
so,
my friend, how are you? How are you doing?
I am fine, but I'm a little bit tired, but that's okay. That's just a regular Sunday.
Oh, it's literally Sunday. I thought you were just making a joke. I just realized it's actually Sunday.
Yes, it is Sunday.
Wow.
What about you? How
I
are
am
you?
doing fine. So as some of you may have seen on my Instagram, I was on vacation last week. I've been home now for 4 days, I think. 3. I got home super late. And I'm feeling it, you know what I mean? Like you get back to reality pretty quickly, and now I am tired.
Yeah.
That week did absolutely nothing for me. Jesus. But it's fine.
Oh, and also I finally bought how do you say it in English? Ardennes?
I usually say like Ardennes.
Okay, yeah, Ardennes. Yeah,
But I don't know if I'm right.
Finally.
Yay!
And she's very gorgeous, and I love her.
They are so nice.
Her name is Holly.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah.
Do you usually like label and age your horses like
Yes,
if they're mare
every
stuff?
time.
You do? Oh, I try, but I'm bad at it. I'm bad at remembering.
I always, or usually remember at least, because it has become a part of my process when buying a horse, that I'm like trying to picture, like, okay, is this a mare or like a stallion or whatever, and what age are they? And then it kind of helps me to paint a picture of what kind of horse it is, and then what I might want to name them. So
that's a good idea. Do you usually like feel like they have personalities as well, or is it just like
yes, a lot of times I do, not always, but especially when it's a horse that I really feel drawn to, then yes, I kind of just automatically have a personality in my mind.
I'm actually sometimes I try to name them or name them, obviously, I guess you have to, but like to label them as
Just
mares.
name all of them nameless.
Yeah. Can you do that? Oh my God.
I don't know. I don't think so. Name is a weird option.
That would be cool. Imagine if it had the name was an option. No, I try to do it, but sometimes I forget. But I have this one shtick where it's like all of my magic horses are eternal.
Yeah, I usually do that as well.
It's like it feels right, you know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like you're trying to tell me that this gingerbread cookie is a youngster? No. It's immortal and it will live forever. So
I don't know when I would use eternal otherwise if it's not for the magical horses.
Maybe my starter could be eternal as well, because it's like that's kind of a magic horse,
I think
right?
I actually made my starter eternal, maybe either that or elder. I don't remember.
Yeah.
Actually, speaking of that, because this horse I bought now, I made her a senior.
Yeah.
And that's just another thing where I'm like, I don't know. I just look at her and I'm like, I feel like this is an old.
You're old.
And I don't know why. It's just she's like an old lady, you know.
Understandable though.
That's what I picture in my mind.
Yeah, because Holly feels like an old lady name.
Yeah, she's just nice and kind, and like she doesn't care that much, but she still has some energy,
She's
you
like
know?
trotting along, just hanging
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
I had a
Just
pony
being a
named
very
Holly.
nice. You
She was
did?
crazy. Yeah, she was fucking crazy. Like, she was absolutely nuts. Her name was Holly Twist, and she was crazy, like absolutely crazy. She
Oh
once
god.
threw me off by bolting at a show, and then like, she just took off, and I fell off when she like turned quickly for a wall, so I just like
Oh
slammed into the
god.
wall. I was like 10. It was a hard life out there.
That reminds me of one time I've fallen off a horse very many times. And there's this one time that I kind of like forget about because it was really random. I don't know how to explain, but I went to riding school, right? But then this one time we got the opportunity to like take a lesson at my school. So it was like a completely different place where I didn't know anyone or any of the horses.
Yeah,
Um, and I remember that I rode a horse and in the like we took a sharp turn and we like fell over
just like
because it was
you
like too
both.
sharp or whatever. Yeah, both of us.
Oh no.
And it's kind of dramatic when you think about it, but I mean, it went fine, but
Yeah.
it's like I kind of suppressed when it happened. I don't know. It's really weird.
Those are like the scariest ones though. I'm always afraid of like
Yeah.
slipping through a corner because like bad footing or bad balance or whatever.
Yeah, it is scary.
But when was
But
the last time like you wait, I do know this. I do know the answer to this question. When was the last
wait.
time you rode?
Yeah, you do know that
I
question.
just
I mean,
remember.
answer. Yep, yep.
Because you rode at my place. But when was the last
Yeah.
time before that? Because that was like last year.
Before that, it must have been, I think, because around like COVID, like
Hmm.
2020, 2019, something like that. Like in the beginning of COVID, I took care of a fjord horse called
Oh.
Freya for like a year-ish. So I was there maybe 2 times a week and like just did the chores and then I would take a ride,
Yeah.
just like usually just out in the woods.
Yeah.
So that was the last time
I didn't
before
know
that.
that. I didn't know you had like a caretaking horse. That's so cool.
Mm. Yeah, I've had plenty of those.
Oh, that's so cute.
um, she was very stubborn though, so it was quite annoying. She would like sometimes just stop and be like, I don't want to go any further. And then you've gone like 100 meters and you're like, bro, we haven't even been out. And she would just refuse to go forward. Yeah, it could be frustrating.
Oh,
Yeah.
sweet, sweet baby. Do you have any
Mm.
fjords in game that look like her?
Mm, I mean, I guess, but the thing is, I already have a fjord that I named after another horse. That was my favorite horse at my last riding school. She was a mix of, I think it was Fjord, New Forest, and Arabian.
Mhm.
She was like this, like kind of pony looking, like with fjord colors.
Yeah.
Um, and she was called Beauty. And
Oh.
I have a fjord in the game with the like longer mane that I called Pixel Beauty
Oh.
after her because she's not around anymore. And I really liked her. I would always get to ride her because my riding instructor was like, "You're such a good match," and I'm like, "Yeah,
You're like, thank you.
yeah." It's just an amazing feeling when you click with a horse that
Yeah.
way. That it's just like, yeah, we know how to communicate.
Yeah.
Sorry, I talked a lot about
Jesus
those things.
Christ. The funny thing is, like, when we talk, like, off camera, it's always,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm always the one talking. I feel like I'm always talking over you, and I feel so bad. So now I'm like, actually hearing you talk, I'm like, wow, is this what you sound like?
But nah, I do the same thing. I will go on freaking rants and like talk for 10 minutes straight and not let you say anything
We're pretty
either.
bad about it, to be honest.
Mm.
Just a normal day.
Yeah.
I was actually like thinking about the game today, just like
Mhm.
as you do, I guess.
Yep.
I was just thinking about like Hollywoods and the whole paths and stuff, especially Terra,
Mhm.
because like I remember because I started playing. I'm coming into my 4th year now, so I've been playing for like 3.5 years
Mhm.
actively, and the game feels so different now with like all of these new mechanics. Just because
Yeah.
like, but in a good way. It's like
Yeah.
with the farming and stuff, and actually being able to plant and craft things and like having a little something to do. It's like it feels like a completely it feels like a different type of game, I guess, because it's like you have something to do that's not necessarily quest related, but also like it gives you something to do. You can do it for fun. It gives you some benefits in the game. And I was just trying to think
Yeah.
of like what else could the game do? You know what I mean? Like what else do I want to do in the game? Like that's like kind of like that.
That could be added, you mean?
Yeah. I was trying to think of
Mm.
like things to add or like maybe areas to improve. Like
Yeah, sorry.
and I was just like, I was thinking like, well, obviously there's a lot of places that need an update, right? Like,
Mhm.
just looking here now because we're standing in game at the 𝙎𝙘𝙖𝙧 Championship or the 𝙎𝙯𝙧 Championship, and it's like 𝙎𝙘𝙖𝙧 looks awful, and I hope
Yeah.
that it gets an update soon. And like considering how good Hollywoods looks, in my opinion, anyways, I love it. Like, imagine how good the the 𝙎𝙘𝙧 city is gonna look when it's
Yeah.
updated. And like imagine all the possibilities that would like give you to do stuff in the city. You could like I can't like really think of anything specific, but it's like I really want stuff to do that kind of reminds me of this. Or like of like the Path of Terra, you know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
like the paths
Yeah.
in general. It's like having something to do outside of, well, maybe like for me it's like racing and stuff, right? Like that's all I do. I race and I take photos and I hang out with you basically. Which is a sad life.
Yep. Very sad, actually.
Tragic.
Yeah. I mean, anything where it's kind of like progression and a skill tree is always fun.
Yeah.
Because then it's kind of like you get to choose yourself how you progress things and in
Yes.
what order, and you can kind of like take your time if you want, or you can grind if you want. Like those are the best kind of things where you can choose to grind if you want to, but you can also take it easy. And it's not the thing where it's like, oh, you can do this once a day.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, those are fine too. I just mean that those are the best types when you get to choose, because then it
Yeah.
fits anyone, and it doesn't matter if you have a bunch of time or just a little bit of time.
Yeah. Because that's been so
Um,
nice about this. Because like I've been taking it slow with this update. Because I'm usually somebody
Same.
who rushes things. But, like I'm
Yep.
not even done with like the Path of Runology and the Path of
Me neither.
Whimsy. What's the first one
Whimsy.
called?
Yeah.
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 It's like I'm not done with them at all, and I'm taking my time and I'm doing things slowly because it's fun and it's nice. Like I'll pop into the woods and just like I don't know, collect some light or open a satchel or whatever. Like just
Yeah.
do something.
Yeah. Same. I've been taking it easy, and on the days that I feel like playing, I've been like, yeah, just doing some things, maybe unlocking one or two nodes, and then I
Yeah,
stop for the day. I don't feel the need to rush through it, and I
yeah,
love that I have something to do when I want to do something.
yeah. Because there's no pressure to do it. Like
Yeah,
you can do as much as little as you want, and it's like
and also another thing is that because sometimes you wanna maybe rush through things because you're like, oh, I want to get this one thing that's at the end.
yeah,
And I mean, in this one, it's like, yes, a little bit like that, but not that much. Because if you, for example, really want one of the clothing items or whatever,
yeah,
like you can choose to unlock that
yeah,
quite early if you want to, and then you can just like focus on that.
yeah. Like it's very customizable, I guess.
Yeah.
And I guess speaking of customization, like I know they've talked about it a little bit in like the newsletters and stuff, or the blogs. I mean, like the
Mm,
whole customizing your home stable or whatever. Like
yeah.
when that comes as well, like obviously it's not like it's gonna be like The Sims, you know, you're gonna be building your own stuff, right?
Yeah.
But just like having some options to make it a little bit more of a personalized experience, which
Hmm.
is kind of what this has been as well, because you can play like you
Yeah.
can kind of like play it as you want to play it. Like all of that is so good, and I feel like it's just a good step for this game. Like it's a step in the right direction, I guess. It's just so
Yeah.
much fun.
Yeah, I'm excited for that too. That's been like my number one dream update for many years now.
Yeah.
Like it would be cool if you can get some types of different furniture items, and then like I understand that you like it they probably can't do it so you can lay stuff down, but what they could do, which I feel like they should be able to do, is if there's like specific spots where you're like, okay, in this spot you get to choose which thing you want to showcase.
Oh
So for
yes.
example, if it's a shelf, maybe you have like three different decorations you can choose between, like
Yeah.
a plushie or like a photo. And then like in a corner you can choose like, oh, there's like three different types of chairs. Like
Yeah.
stuff like that would be really cool, because then when you visit someone else's home stable, it will really feel like, oh, I want to see what yours looked like.
Yeah. To be
Yeah.
like a nice personal touch. Imagine if you could like, because there are plushy pets and stuff, and it's like imagine if
Yeah.
you could put them on the shelf, like instead of having them in your wardrobe. That'd be so
Yeah, that
cute.
would be so cool.
Or if you could like, well, I know that's kind of controversial, I guess, but like I was gonna say, like the bunnies and stuff. Maybe you could have them in like a little home or a little house or a cage or whatever. But it's I guess
Right,
that's
yeah.
kind of that's probably a sensitive topic. But it's like
But I
somehow
mean,
incorporate them.
it wouldn't have to be a cage. It could be like a small area where you can have like one pet just sitting, like
Yeah.
a little, I don't know,
And it's like
something.
if you put them there, then they're not in your wardrobe. It's like
Yeah,
you have to pick them out of the wardrobe, basically.
yeah.
Thinking about it, the wardrobe is not a very nice place for them to be, if you think about
No,
it.
if you think about it, your option might be nicer, actually.
Yeah. Do you want to be stuffed in a box in the wardrobe and taken out once every blue moon? Or do you want to live in maybe a small and not up to standards cage?
At least get some light
Yeah,
and
what will you
maybe a little bit of
choose?
attention.
Jesus.
Um, One other thing actually I want to bring up when it comes to what they could add to the game.
Mhm.
This is actually a really old thing. I don't know who suggested it. I used to remember that years ago I saw someone mention something like this, and I've always thought that was a really cool idea.
Mhm.
I don't know if like exactly how they should implement it, but basically the idea is to implement some type of enchanting
Ooh.
ish, where you can like, for example, take a clothing item that maybe has no stats, and then in some
Oh,
way like enchant it to like improve the stats, maybe in
that would
different
be
stages.
cool.
So if it's one that's zero stats, maybe there's like three different stages you have to go through to get it to the full stats or something.
Yeah.
um
Oh, that'd be
but
so
that would be
cool.
really cool, because not only does it give you something to do, because I assume maybe you could enchant it in like other ways too, not just the stats.
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe it could be also like, I don't know, I don't know, like
Yeah,
colors
but
or
I
whatever.
understand what you mean.
I'm not sure. But if you have a clothing item you really like, but it's zero stats, it's like it would be awesome if you are then able to make it full sets so you can wear it more without feeling that it's not worth it, you
Yeah.
know?
You could like kind of like reminiscent of like the paths now in Hollow Woods. Imagine if you could do something to build up something and like
Yeah,
you could use that to increase the stats of your items.
yeah,
And then you could like
exactly.
pick which ones you want or whatever. And it's like you could maybe, I don't know if it's a good idea to like remove to add, like you take away one stat here and then you place it here. Maybe
Right.
that's not great, but like you could definitely improve stats.
Hmm.
And it's like maybe not go absolutely crazy and like max out everything, you know what I mean? But it's like because now it's like what's the like the racing stat or whatever. It's like writing 8 and then it's like command 4, right?
Well, it depends on what item you're looking at, but
Sorry, I was thinking about like a shirt. Sorry. I think it's
Yeah.
like 8.
Yeah, it's 8 riding, 4 command, 1 jumping
Yeah.
usually when it's like a standard max stat
Yeah,
item.
yeah. So that's like that maybe that would be the appropriate. Like I'm not saying oh you need to make everything like better than that or whatever. You know what I mean? Like everything's gonna be a 10 or whatever because that's just gonna be like strange.
No, no, what I'm thinking is that that's still like the max,
Yeah,
obviously. So it's more like for items that aren't at the max stats.
yeah.
Um,
Because that's usually what you say. You have like the gloves that are like 4 and 4 and they're max stats, and then it's
yeah,
like, okay, can I upgrade these gloves? Because that'd be so
yeah.
cool. What you were
And
talking
it
about, like
should
the
obviously be like hard. It shouldn't be
yeah,
easy to do.
yeah, maybe even like you have to unlock the like enhancement or whatever, but then like to actually do it costs maybe like 5,000 shillings or something. You know what I mean? Like not a
Yeah, I don't
stupid
know.
amount, but like
Yeah, I don't know what it should cost, but it should definitely be enough that you can't just like bring 10 items and max them out easily. Like it
no,
should be like, okay, now I am trying to max out this specific item. And
yeah,
then after I'm done with that, I can try another one if I
yeah.
want to. Yeah.
But I was thinking about because you were talking about like customizing in other ways. I don't know
Mhm.
if you remember, but they talked about it in like a blog post. This was quite a while back, like when they were pretty
Mhm.
new. But they talked about like how they basically like their system is more efficient now because they've like implemented grayscale textures.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's
I
like
remember. It was
imagine
like
you,
right in one of the very first ones,
yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Because they were saying like, oh, it's easier now because we have like a rear scale of everything, so it doesn't have to take up so
Mhm.
much space. Blah blah blah. So like, imagine you could like change the color of a shirt because like you could have like maybe not a color wheel, but you'd have like options, you know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, that
That'd be so cool because it's like
it would be super cool if it's like, yeah, and there's like one of the enchantment things
yeah,
that you can change, either just like the general look or that it's like, oh, you change the jacket color on
yeah, yeah,
this
yeah.
or whatever.
Because it's like a certain item would have like a grayscale thing. Like imagine
Yeah.
like oh you could implement it. You could combine it with Terra in a way because it's like you
Mhm.
have to maybe grow like some flowers or something, and that
Right.
would be
Yeah.
used for the dye, and then you'd
Yeah, it could
like
be like part of the recipe or whatever that you need to have
yeah,
some dye to do it, and then also that it maybe costs something, obviously, but like,
yeah.
yeah,
Like you collected something, some kind of magic or whatever. Like maybe it's light, you know, maybe they just
yeah,
expand on that and it's like, oh, you can gather light in hollow woods and then you can use it for different things around the
yeah,
island.
yeah, exactly.
That'd be so cool
And
because
I don't know, like, maybe it would be a bad idea to do it this way, but it also would be a bit cool if they just release like one version of a clothing item and then you have to do the enchantment stuff to get like other colors.
yeah, that'd be cool.
But I mean, I don't know. Or it could just be like another option, because then basically if you buy one, you could get any of the colors and
Yes.
swap between them. Just that obviously it would have to cost something, but
Yeah,
it might
it's
be like a better option for you.
yeah, like it takes both time and a little bit of effort, but like maybe it just costs 2,500 shillings or something instead of the standard or the standard now the 10k. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, that would just allow for a little bit more interaction, and also like if you had the opportunity to change like the colors and stuff, you
Mhm.
could like imagine the customization in like club outfits. You'd really, I'm not gonna say you would like eliminate the duplicates or stuff, but
Mhm.
like you'd really find something that is unique to you and your club. Maybe you would be able
Yeah.
to like change the hues and stuff and like
Yeah.
really make it your own. That'd be really cool.
Yeah, it would. So yeah, like I said, I don't know exactly how
No.
you would implement something like that, but I just think some kind of enchanting thing or like something where you like change and improve items
Yeah.
would be very cool, and it would give players like another thing where they can work towards something
Yeah.
at any point, really.
Because at like, I guess in a way, at first we had like Farah. and her crafting, and you were able to craft like clothes and stuff.
Mhm.
And then now this what we're doing in Hollow Woods now with like the gardening and like the collecting and the unlocking and everything of the different paths. It's like it feels like a step from that. So now I'm like excited to see what the next step is going to be. Like
Yeah.
what's the new thing or whatever. How are
Yeah.
they moving on from this?
Yeah. Because they really like hit the jackpot with Hollywood.
Yes.
And I think they know that this was a great update, both for them, but also for the players, obviously. So I hope that it means that they will be able to do more things like it.
Yeah.
Because they definitely figured it out now with what's a good, like, long lasting, what's a good, long lasting content.
Yeah.
Thread.
Something that brings you back to the game.
Yeah.
Because like well for me like the reason why I play the game is because I like to take photos, right? And
Mhm.
also because I have like my friends, I have you, I have the rest of the club and everything. That's like that's why I play the game. If I
Mhm.
didn't have any of that, I understand why people aren't coming back or why they're maybe only playing on Wednesdays when the update comes out and stuff. It's like
Yeah.
but now they really I understand that it's not for everyone and that's fine. You can't please everybody all the time, but like I feel like this is exactly what they need to be doing for
Mhm.
people to play the game actively because it brings
Yeah.
a whole nother level and another like type of engagement to the game, which is
Yeah.
just so much fun. I'm so
Because it used
excited.
to be for me that I was kind of like, if I didn't have the club, that I was like, I wasn't sure how much I would actually be playing.
Yeah,
That was one of my main reasons to log on and play the game.
yeah,
But now it's like I don't play SSO that actively compared to how I did like a few years ago.
yeah,
But it's still I play it like at least a few days in the week. I log on, and even if it's just for a short while, like now I have a reason to do it. And if I feel like playing SSO, it's like, oh, I could log on and just like collect some lights
yeah.
for a little bit. And it's very relaxing and nice. And yeah.
It's just a fun way to pass the time, and it's like
Yeah.
you don't feel obligated to play for a long time, but you also
Hmm.
don't feel like there's no reason for you to log on. Like it's fine to just
Hmm.
log on for a few minutes and then
Yeah.
like do your thing and then log off again. Like it's fine.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't feel pressured to play, but I also don't feel like I have no incentive to play. It's just it's fun. I don't know.
Speaking of pressure to play,
Uh-huh. Oh good.
I feel like we talked about this for a while now. So I'm going to move on a little bit to another topic.
Yep.
That's another thing, actually, when it comes to player XP,
Hmm.
because they have been way more generous when it comes to player XP now.
Yeah.
You get more for quest. There's like more different ways to do it, and people have been leveling up like crazy.
Yeah.
And for me, I honestly love it because it used to be that you got it so rarely,
Yeah.
and it was so like important in a way to
Yeah.
level up, at least for me.
Yeah.
So I would fixate on every little XP I could get.
Yeah.
If it meant you got 5 player XP for one quest every day for 2 weeks, I would do it because in the long run, it would at least give me a little bit.
Yeah.
Even
Because you
though
felt pressured to
I'm,
do it.
yeah, maybe if I hated the quest, but I would still do it just because I
Yeah.
felt pressured.
Yeah.
But now, like at this point, I'm pretty sure I could level up, but I haven't done much of the new stuff that gives XP just because I don't feel the pressure to
Yeah.
do it fast, or like that I have to level up really fast because I'm like, it's fine. There's a bunch of XP there. There's no rush.
Yeah.
Like it's so nice that there's no more pressure, at least for me.
Yeah. I totally understand what
I
you
just
mean.
wanted to say that because it's like a big thing. It used to be so
Yeah.
bleh.
It used to be so dramatic to do it, right? Like you were
Yeah.
striving so hard and it's like, oh, I'm so close and I need to do it and I haven't leveled up in like years. And it's like, I
Yeah.
understand if you're a low level account, maybe you're like level 17, 18. Like, yeah,
Mhm.
I get
Yeah,
wanting to
yeah.
level up and stuff, but like, I feel like when I got to like level 21,
Mhm.
then I was like, yeah, It's fine. I get it now.
Mhm.
Now I'm like halfway through level 24, and I think, like you said, I think I could probably level up if I did everything
Mhm.
now in like the paths and stuff in Hollow
Yeah.
Woods. But like, I don't know. I'm just like, I'm vibing. I think it's
Yeah.
also nice to know that they put the level cap or the stat cap in place,
Yeah, exactly.
because that also kind of like, I know I'm gonna be catching up at some point, and I'm
Mhm.
also like, I understand maybe like if you're an avid racer, then yeah, maybe you'd like be more stressed about it. It's because you're
Mhm.
competing against people. That's fine. That's understandable. But like for me
But at least
personally,
you can, at this point, I feel like even a new player can get to level 3 fairly easily
yeah,
with all the stuff that's in the game and all the XP we've gotten from like also events and stuff now.
yeah,
So even though if you're a really new account, it can be a little bit frustrating with the racing, but
yeah,
it's not gonna be too hard to level up. Like before, it took me, I think, like 1.5 years to level up to level 21 or something like that.
yeah.
And I'm like, okay, and that didn't even give me like more stats or
No,
anything.
no.
It was so sad.
Tragic, truly
Yep,
tragic.
yep.
No, but it's like, I don't know, it just feels, in general, I feel like the game just feels, maybe it's just like me getting old, but it feels so much less dramatic now. It's like, I
Yeah,
don't know, I'm having fun with this game, and it's like, maybe that's stupid of me because it's like, yeah, I'm 23 this year, and it's like, this is a game targeted for like, mid-teens, and I'm aware of that, and that's fine, but it's like, I'm having fun in this game, and I don't feel
yeah,
pressured to play it. I don't feel pressured to do anything, but like, I find myself wanting to play this game, like,
yeah.
even though I have quote unquote nothing to do. You know what I mean?
I really just love how they have improved the game in the past like
Yes.
year. I think in the beginning of last year, it felt at first a little bit wah, but just because they were like working on the new play character for so long, and we kept seeing hints, and it was a bit like this is exciting, but also I don't know how to feel about it and
Yeah.
stuff. But then I feel like as soon as the play character arrived, that's when things really started to just like this is the new
Yeah.
SSO, like
It feels like
SSO
the
2.0,
floodgates opened. It's like now everything is
Yeah.
just happening, and which is so much fun. Honestly,
Yeah.
I was like looking at old pictures the other day, and
Mm.
I just saw pictures of the old character, and I'm like, how
Yeah.
did I ever like this? Or it's like, I get the
Right?
charm, and I get it. It had its style, but it's like looking at this now with like these horses, the the game in general, like, yeah, okay, I'm currently, as we're recording this, I'm currently like training a little bit, and I'm in New Hillcrest, and it looks awful if I'm being honest, but it's
Yeah.
like, I'm in a spot right now where I can see the old game, and I'm like, all I can think about is, it's not, oh, I wish everything looked like this. It's like, I wish they'd just update this, because I've seen what
Yeah.
they've done in other places,
Yeah.
so it's like, why does it just looks so bad down here? So it's, I don't know, I'm just like really excited to follow the game. And I know
Same.
some people are very upset about it, and I was like, well, go outside, please. It's like, why are you so upset about a game? I get it, like, people spend money on it, and yes, I've spent way too much money on this game, but it's like, I chose to do it, you know what I mean? I chose to do it, and I continue to choose to do it because I enjoy it. And if you don't enjoy it anymore, then yeah, you don't have to play. It's like, if you're that irresponsible, if you hated it that much, or like if you hate the change that much, I feel like you probably, like, it's not that vastly different. That
Mhm.
I don't see how it could be a deal breaker, I guess, to the point where you're like, I want my money back, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's just such a shame. I understand like you're not happy with everything, and that's fine, and maybe like, yeah, there are certain things that aren't great, and I can admit that. I'm the first to admit that some things aren't great, but like, everyone who keeps saying, I was like, oh, I miss the old SSO. It's like, do you? Or do you just miss being like 12 and coming home from school and playing a game
Yeah.
on your computer?
Yeah. I'm not gonna say like because anyone who says they miss the old SSO, like of course I don't know you and stuff. Like maybe you just really like that style. I don't know. But I
Yeah.
swear like 99% of it is most likely is gonna be that you miss the feeling you had when you played the game.
Yeah.
You miss the feeling you had when you were a kid and there were no like real troubles in your life and you could
No.
come home and you could just like play this game that you loved and there was this special feeling about it.
Yeah.
I mean, you can say that like, oh, but the community back then was better, and like
It
that's
was
fine
just
if you think that
smaller.
way. Yeah, it's just yeah. I just find it hard to like believe that old SSO would be
Yeah.
a better option in any way.
Yeah. Because also like everything changes, right? You have to keep up with the
Yeah.
new like markets and expectations and stuff. And it's like I understand you were like so happy and and like stoked about the game when it came out and stuff. And I understand like I've played the Season Riders games and I
Hmm.
get the nostalgia. Like I love those
Yeah.
games and those were actually like because I was cleaning out like a wardrobe or something and I found the CD I had of the Autumn Rider
Oh.
and it's like I played that in 2020 and then I finished it and I was like, oh, this just felt so good, so much nostalgia, I loved it. And I was like, hey, I remember there's an online game that I tried when I was little and I couldn't pay for it, so it's like I stopped playing it. And so I was like, maybe I should give it a shot, and I was hooked. Like
Hmm.
I came straight from the old game, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I came straight
Yep.
from it and I was still like, hell yeah, this is great.
Yep.
And now I just seeing it now and almost like I don't know, it's like even comparing this now to November 2020. Yeah, 2020. November 2020 was when I started playing
Hmm.
actively. And it's like just comparing it now to today with January 24 is like I don't know, it's just like I don't want to say that it's a completely different game, but it's like it's just so much, it's like new and improved in like every aspect and I love it. Like but it still keeps the principle of the game because I'm still having fun. I'm still in a massive open world game on a horse, you know what I mean?
Yep.
I don't know. I don't get the I get it, but I also don't get the whole like stressing out
Yeah. I
about like
also don't want to
it's a
like say
game.
too much because I also played the old games and stuff, but I didn't play SSO really when it was new. So obviously I can't like speak for how the game actually felt back then. But I can say that I relate so much to the whole feeling of something like the way something felt when you were a kid and you
Yeah.
miss it so much, but you just can't really replicate it
No.
fully, you know?
I actually had that like premonition like a week ago, just like with YouTube.
Mm.
So like in 2016, I just like remember so vividly, the YouTubers I was watching. I was watching
Hmm.
Jacksepticeye and Markiplier and like Vanoss and everyone. And it's like the feeling of like, I was making edits. I was making video edits on Instagram and like the whole, the vibe and the community and everything that was like that I was in. I was like, it feels like it feels like a warm blanket, and it's like I miss it
Yeah.
so much. But it's also like I still watch them sometimes and I started getting back into gaming YouTube a little bit more again. Just like
Hmm.
some new people, some old, like whatever, but
Yeah.
like it's just like it feels great, but it's also like
Hmm.
I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, YouTube was so much better back then. Mwah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
I understand that it's different because time moves on and things are very different, and it's like YouTube is not the same anymore, but the core value of it is still the same, and the people that I'm watching are still the same. They're still,
Yeah.
bringing a sense of comfort, I guess. I don't know. It's just like a good time, but it's also like it's different, but that different doesn't mean bad.
Hmm. Definitely. Yeah.
Were
I
you
don't know. It's just
somebody?
so. Huh?
I was just gonna say, were you somebody who watched like a lot of YouTube?
Yes.
What
And
would
I
you watch?
still kind of do, but I kind of had the same thing where for some periods of my life, I would just like binge watch certain YouTube series and stuff.
Mm,
And it would just this special feeling. I would have like my laptop on the bed and like lay down and watch stuff for
yeah,
hours. But I mean, I still watched quite a lot of YouTube, just obviously different things.
yeah. Is there somebody like who would you say like I guess represented your childhood? Like who would you come home from school and watch? If that makes sense.
Well, one kind of like common answer, but it's very true, is PewDiePie.
Yeah,
I
same.
watched like every one of his videos back then.
Yeah,
Um, I also used to watch this YouTuber called Stacy Plays.
Oh my
She like,
god, what?
well, not that's the thing. It's not like game director Stacy I'm talking about. It's another person whose YouTube channel is called Stacy Plays.
That's
Like
cool.
plays as in playing a game.
Yeah.
Which is why I was so like, it was so funny when I found out she like it's called Stacy Plays, and I'm like, wait, what?
What are the odds?
But this person that I'm talking about, she would like focus on basically like animal games,
Yeah.
and she would play a lot of modded Minecraft with like, it's like she had this one series that I think is still going today called Dogcraft, where she had like a bunch of mods that made it so she could have different types of dog breeds. And the thing is, it was like kind of silly because she's very clearly sometimes focused on a younger audience, where
Yeah.
she would like role play like, oh no, the dog escaped, wow, but it's very clearly just like
Yeah.
staged. But I still liked it
But
because
you
it was
ate
like
it up.
so cozy to watch.
Yeah.
I don't know. And I mean, I also watched a bunch of her other series. I don't know. It was just like super cozy to watch her.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
those are the main two, I think.
You reminded me of, there was this series that I watched. When could this have been? Like maybe 2015, maybe,
Mm-hmm.
or maybe even earlier. I just have such a. You just give me such a flashback. It's like there was this YouTuber. I didn't follow him, but I got it in my recommendations. It was a series of him playing a Barbie game. And like he was so obviously not like necessarily a Barbie person and not a horse person, but it was like this Barbie horse game, and he just played it, and it was like the funniest. I just remember crying laughing because he had such, and he spoke in this kind of funny way, and I can't really I can't replicate it. I just remember it, but it's like he was just so funny, and I remember I would like rewatch that, but I have no idea what his channel was called. Something about like I don't know, something in my mind. I'm associating either a profile picture or a thumbnail with black and white, like a panda or something. I pretended that wasn't happening because I was like, okay, people don't have to watch the video.
I saw you fail, and I'm like, haha, she failed. And of course, I also get stuck. And then it said I entered from the wrong direction. Bruh.
Oh no.
What? I am sad.
Well,
wait, does that mean it means my Moorland thing is not like completed? Oh my god.
Well done, buddy. Well done.
Sorry for interrupting. It's just like, what the fuck?
No, like I don't know. I was just trying to think of it because it's like something about it. I associated it with like a panda or something. I don't know what it like. I'm not sure what I'm seeing in my mind, but it's like something.
Right.
And it's like,
something,
but it's like I can't remember the name because the name was also weird. And he was kind of like a small YouTuber, and it's like this was not a big account, but it came into my recommendations, and he played it. Oh, I can't remember what the game was called either. It was like maybe like Barbie's Wild Horse Adventure or something. It's like I don't know. He was just so funny, and I was like crying laughing about it. It's like that's a core memory for me at this point. Oh man.
Speaking of YouTubers, I feel like since you mentioned like not a very big channel or whatever, I discovered a new YouTuber. Well, not this year then, but last year, end of last year, called 𝙎𝙧𝙖𝙧, and I think she was a streamer first, but then she started uploading some of her playthroughs on YouTube.
Yeah,
and I can really recommend her because she plays a lot of games just for the first time. For example, The Last of Us, she played. That was the first series I watched her play, and she knew nothing about it. And the best part is that she's so like emotionally intelligent and like tuned in to the story. So she like really pays attention to the story, and she really tries to like understand the characters, and she cries a lot. So it's just like, if you like a game, then I really recommend watching her play it because she just appreciates it so much compared to some other people who are more just like, fucking around.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to throw that out there. She's like not super big, but I really recommend her.
Oh, but that's
videos.
so nice.
Yeah.
It's nice when you find somebody like that. I've like gotten back
Yeah.
into some of the people that I watched.
Mhm.
Like right now I've been watching a ton of Smitty. He's like,
Mhm.
I mean, he plays a bunch of games with a lot of friends and stuff. And I watched him and kryos were like my favorites from the whole like the Vanoss gang. I think like
Mhm.
I don't want to say favorites because it's like I liked a bunch of them for different reasons, right? But like I don't know, I just found myself coming back to them quite a lot. And it's like I've been watching him now again, and it's like he's still making the same type of content, but obviously like better, and like his editing is even more polished. Like he has editors, but like the style of content is even more polished, and like I don't know, he's just really, but he's still making the same jokes, and he's still like so funny, and it's like felt so comforting. It's like
Mm.
it was so nice to like find my way back to it, I guess, if that
Yeah.
makes sense.
Yeah.
It's just really nice. You were talking about like the like playing a game for the first time, by the way. That made me think of
Mhm.
like back in, I think it must have been like 2013. I can have a look at when he uploaded it, but when PewDiePie played Beyond Two Souls, I think that was like that's like my first recollection of like actively starting to watch YouTube. I think I probably watched him from before
Mhm.
that because I don't think I would have found it otherwise, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
that, his playthrough of that was like my first introduction to, well, first of all, story games, and I absolutely love story games. But also just like, that style of let's plays, like the longer
Mhm.
episodes, like having something on in the background or just like having it to watch kind of as a instead of like a TV series, you know what I mean? Like Beyond Two Souls is to this day still one of my favorite games. And I say that as somebody like I don't I say it's like one of my favorite story games, but it's like I obviously haven't played it myself. But it's like
Mhm.
that's been the case for me for a long time. Like I say I'm interested in gaming and in games, but I haven't had the opportunity or the possibility to play a lot of games myself. But I've
Mm.
watched a ton of them, like so much content. I've watched like everything
Yeah.
from like, story different games to like I would watch like Courage JD and like Tim the Tatman playing Fortnite. And it's like I enjoyed it so much. Like I've watched
Mhm.
so many games. But it's like Beyond Two Souls really stuck with me, and it's like one of my favorite stories. And I feel like I need to rewatch somebody play it again. Not necessarily
Mm.
him, but like somebody. I just need to like
Yeah.
I need to see the story again.
I remember liking that playthrough as well because I also really like story games. One of my favorites actually, which is also one that I haven't played myself, but I watched like at least 3 playthroughs of it
Yeah.
because I thought it was so cool, is Detroit Become Human.
Yes, that one is my
Yeah.
favorite. It's so
Yeah, I
good.
love that one because it's actually so interesting how like everyone's choices differ.
Yes, that was my favorite part about it because it's like you could really watch it from different people. Because I think the
Mm,
first one I watched was obviously Jacksepticeye because he like I watched him like
mm,
all the time. But then I would like go on and watch maybe like Markiplier play it.
mm,
Sometimes I'd watch PewDiePie play it, or I would watch like well, who else? Like like anyone really, like anyone play
mm.
it. And sometimes I'd watch like YouTubers that I didn't normally watch, but they were playing the game, so I'd watch them for the game and whatever. And it was just like so much fun to see everybody play it. Such
Yeah,
a good game.
yeah.
Did you like? Did you play a lot of games growing up?
Mm, well, kinda. I wouldn't say I played that many like different types of games necessarily, but I've definitely pretty much been a gamer since I was a kid, for
Yeah.
sure.
Did you have like a console or anything?
Um, a few different ones. My dad had an Xbox 360,
Yeah.
and I like so, and then I also like got that one for myself. So I had that for a little while, and then we also, when I was older, had a Wii. And I've had 2 different types of Nintendo DS as
Yeah.
well.
So nice. I
Hmm.
never really played games. Like I had a Wii because I got it for
Hmm.
Christmas when I was like maybe 10. But I didn't really have a lot of games for it. I had like I remember I had Super Mario Galaxy. And
Yeah.
to this day, I don't think I've even beaten that game because I couldn't. I wasn't smart enough to understand it when I was younger. And it's like I don't know, like I had like a few of those like types of
Yeah.
games. Like I had Super Mario Galaxy. Obviously I had like Wii Sports and Wii Sports
Hmm.
Resorts because those were elite. But it's like that's what I occasionally would play. But I didn't play games, and I didn't have a computer that I could play games on. Um, like at all. And I've never had a console. Like like I played Fortnite for the first time the other day with a friend, and like I had like this realization that all of these like instincts to like you would press tab and you would like 1 2 3 to access
Mhm.
your inventories and stuff. It's like I didn't have that like automatically or whatever, like because I've just never played those types of games.
Mhm.
Like it's never been an instinct, and it's like I mean my first like quote unquote shooter game was like when I bought Red Dead Redemption for myself, and that was like what 2 3 years ago. It's like
Mm.
that was my first experience with like a real game, if you will. And it's like it's crazy how different that is. I have all of my
Yeah.
experience is like through secondhand through YouTube, but I still think I do
Yeah.
okay just because I've watched it so much. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I kind of have the same thing where I also have a bunch of games that I just have watched people play,
Yeah,
and I can still say like, "Oh, this is one of my favorite games," but I haven't played it. So it's like kind of dumb,
yeah,
but I've also played a lot of games. But I definitely started playing more like different types of games as I got older and I had the money to buy games and buy
yeah,
a good PC and stuff.
yeah,
But speaking of that, with like the gamer instincts, it's actually very interesting because there are certain things when it comes to gaming that's just kind of like unwritten rules that people
yes,
expect you to know. And if you want to see a little bit more interesting things about that, there's this one YouTuber who made a series where he lets his girlfriend play games for the first time, and she like has never really played
yeah.
games. Gaming for a non-gamer, it's called, I think.
Okay, that's
Wait. Yeah,
fun.
he's called Rasputin or
Mhm.
something like that. And he's made a couple of different ones. There was like one that was in general like what's gaming like for a non-gamer, and then he's done like specific ones like, oh, what are shooting games like for a non-gamer? What is it like playing this game for a non-gamer?
Yeah,
And it's just very interesting to see those kind of things where some things that like experienced gamer
yeah,
will very easily understand, a beginner will not because they haven't played any games.
yeah.
So
It
I
was,
recommend that.
that's so interesting because like that's a very real thing. Like obviously, like
Yeah.
for me, it's like I feel like I understand a lot of these games and like I get to terms with them pretty quickly because I've watched so much of it. Like with
Mhm.
Fortnite, like yeah, at first I was like, whoa, what the hell is happening? But like I understood it quickly because I was like, oh yeah, I know how to do this or I know how to do that
Mhm.
because I've seen so many hours. I have so many hours of passively playing this game. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
it's like such a weird experience. It's such a weird
Yeah.
thing to be this like secondhand gamer, if that makes sense. That's
Yeah.
what it feels like. You're like a secondhand like enjoyer of a game. It's
Mhm.
weird. I was like, I don't know why I got the because okay, I guess a bit of a background info. I was the one who suggested this to you that we would do like this recording
Yeah.
podcast thing. I don't know if I want to call it a podcast because I feel so like serious. I feel like white guy in LA is like, oh, we're gonna start a podcast. We're gonna like talk
It's
about
more
like
like just
our
two girls
business.
rambling.
Yeah, that's literally what it was. Like I was like, yeah, this is a dumb duo, and we are discussing things. It's like we're just talking out of nowhere. I guess. I don't know if it was interesting at all to listen to, or if it is or whatever. Like it's just I'm hoping maybe it would be nice because I know that I am somebody who listens to a lot of podcasts
Mhm.
because it's just nice to have something on. So I guess if you are one of those people and you're listening to us, then you're so very welcome to hang out.
Yeah. I don't really listen to podcasts much, but I do love to have like YouTube videos that are not really focused on what they're doing, but more so what they're saying, to just
Yeah.
have it in the background while I do other things.
Yeah, because like I don't know how many times I've rewatched playthroughs like, well, Detroit Become Human or
Hmm.
Beyond Two Souls or whatever, because like just because I would listen to it while doing something else, just like
Mm.
not heavily edited stuff, which I really enjoy that also, like the more comedic kind of thing. But it's like it's also so nice to just listen to like, you know, something that where it doesn't really matter if I don't need to see it or not. Like it's just
Yeah,
nice to hang out. That's what it feels like. But maybe this is a good time to end this first little episode then. Um
maybe since we got to the topic,
yeah.
and I feel like we have covered a lot of things.
Yeah, we
Most
kind
of
of
it
spun
was
out.
like just kind of like, oh, while we're talking about this, I thought about this.
Yeah. No, but I really enjoyed talking to you, and I always do. So
Yeah.
I hope somebody else enjoyed our conversations.
Yes.
Is there anything you would like to end on? Any final words? What's your
Me?
last wish
My last wish.
before I execute you?
uh,
Say hello to my little friend.
just take care of the environment and think about where you buy your food, I guess.
Just okay. I wasn't expecting that.
I don't know what to say. So I throw in some like,
Stay in school,
think about
kids.
this. Yes, I thought about that, but I wasn't gonna say that.
You're like,
Obviously,
that is
so.
too cliche.
So instead, that's my like thing of the day to think
Yeah.
about. You're welcome.
Eat locally produced meats and don't buy international.
Don't buy meat from fish farms,
Yes.
especially salmon.
Yes.
I've learned a lot about that recently, and it's really bad. So check where your fish is from.
In general, just make sure you buy from good places. You know?
Yeah, I know it's not easy though, but just try.
Try.
That's all.
Do your best.
That's all you can do. Yeah.
Yeah. And anything helps. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to do everything to help.
No.
That's good. Good words. Well, thank you guys so much for listening and for I guess watching. Not really. You don't have to watch. Whatever.
And let us know if you want us to do another one.
Yeah, and maybe there's something specific you want us to talk about, because leave them in the comments. And if not, I'm happy you stuck around and you hung out with us. I really appreciate it. So thank you guys, and I will see you guys in the next episode.